Hey guys, how's it going? This is TDK, Mr. So Real, and in today's division video, I was actually requested by quite a few people to give my impressions and opinions about the changes that are coming in the 1.6 patch. So today's video is going to be about a kind of overview of some of the things that have been mentioned in the patch. If you haven't seen the blog post, it's on the division's homepage, and it's called the 1.6 Last Stand in Detail. It's a very lengthy blog post. So instead of trying to make some ridiculously long video going over all of the changes and my impressions and feelings and opinions on the changes that are coming, I'm going to try and separate this and break things up into some slightly more manageable sections. But this video, the first video in this, I guess, series of videos about this 1.6 are going to focus on a general overview of what's going on, a couple of my opinions on that, and then we're going to talk about some of the new things that we can expect from the 1.6 patch. So why don't we get started and let's get going on talking about the division 1.6 and what to expect from it. Let's go. Alright guys, so just as a word of warning, I'm going to be playing with some effects on the audio just because I feel like being a little extra stupid with this series. I really didn't want to cover this news stuff, but some people were asking me to do it, so if we're going to do it, let's do it as ridiculous as possible. Alright, so let's get started. The Division. What's changing in 1.6? So before we get started in talking about some of the changes, let's make it very clear that 1.6 is going to be launched at the same time for PC, for PlayStation 4, and for Xbox One. So if you're a PlayStation 4 player like myself, then rejoice because it's going to be out at the same time and we don't have to wait a month. So yippee on that one. Now, the first thing that they go over and mention in the blog post is that the game map is going to be expanded. There's going to be some new playable space. There are going to be new special events. There's going to be a revamped kind of named gear distribution kind of setup thing. And there's going to be a new Dark Zone leaderboard and also a new difficulty setting. There won't be a new world tier, and there is a whole list of bug fixes and things like that that will be coming in the patch. The bug fixes and all of the very specific things were not put in the 1.6 Last Stand in Detail blog post, so you'll have to wait for that one. The expanded Dark Zone. Alright, so as the ridiculous voice tells us, the Dark Zone is going to be expanded. And in 1.6 there's going to be a new Dark Zone, DZ 7, 8, and 9. These are going to be part of this new playable space. That is just kind of an attachment to the Dark Zone, and the new Dark Zone 7 through 9 will have more verticality, like rooftops and stuff like that, and there's also going to be more underground locations. And in the blog post they say that it's almost double the playable size of the current Dark Zone. So when you look at the map, when they finally release it, it probably won't look like the map is double the size of the Dark Zone itself, but in that small confined space they're kind of touting it as the playable area that you can have is almost, it's not exactly double. Don't listen to people tell you that it's double the size. It's almost, according to them, the playable size of the Dark Zone as it stands. Now, the Dark Zone as it stands, there's quite a few spaces that we cannot play in. And that is, in regards to a lot of the larger buildings that are just kind of standing in the way. You have to walk around the block, and there are lots of areas that you cannot go into. So just remember that, and kind of, remember that the way that it looks now on the map, you will not get something double that size. but they're also including the areas that you can play on rooftops and underground. And remember that there are underground spaces currently in the Dark Zone, like in DZ, I think it's 1, 3, and 5. So they're always there's some places right there right now, and there are also rooftops that are also in other areas as well. So it's not like it's something new, but this new Dark Zone is kind of talking about those areas. So hopefully there'll be more of those types of areas in the DZ 7, 8, and 9. So as you play through Dark Zone 7, 8, and 9, the difficulty is supposed to go up. 7 is going to be the easier of the 3, 9 being the more difficult of the 3. I'm kind of guessing that 9 is going to have more NPCs, or they're going to be more heavies and bigger NPCs, or there just could be more waves of them. I'm not really sure, but we'll see how that goes. Now DZ 7 is going to be directly north of DZ 6. And then DZ 8 and 9 are going to be east of that. So think about the north of Midtown East District. You can check on your map for that and kind of find out where that is. Now they're going to have new landmarks that can have multiple waves of enemies that spawn after you take them out. Like the first group of NPCs that you see there, after you take them out, there may be some more waves that will come in directly after that. How many waves and enemies that are going to come, we don't really know, but they just said that more will come. Now the thing about that is clearing out the landmarks will give you gear that you won't need to extract. So it's going to be similar to the supply drops. You go in, you clear out the enemies that are going to be there, and then afterwards you get a reward of some kind of loot, and it will go directly to you, so you don't have to extract it. It's yours. And I'm kind of wondering, how does that work if there are multiple groups? Like if you get a shot in on, I don't know, let's say a named NPC, or if you get a shot in on a grunt and then all that stuff gets cleared out, does everybody get it, or how is that going to work? I'm kind of confused about that, but they didn't go into detail on it, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. In the blog post, they make it very clear to say that the size of the Dark Zone is increasing, but the amount of players in the instance will not. So they hope to spread out players, but we all know that, you know, once this thing drops, all the new players are going to go into the new area, and it could be a good time for newer agents who don't want to kind of mess around with some of the higher level people to just stay around DZ3, DZ4, DZ5. But we kind of know that everyone is going to want to go up and see what the new DZ is like, so it's probably going to push more and more people together. I really don't see how they thought this is going to make it easier for people to farm, but theoretically, yeah, you could farm in the lower DZ and hope that no one else is going to be there, because all the killers are probably going to be in 7, 8, and 9. Another thing that they mentioned is that fast travel between DZ checkpoints is going to be a thing. The only thing I can say to that is finally. I am so happy to hear that. And this should make it easier for players who don't want to engage in PvP or scared of a bunch of rogues that might be around the corner to run away. They can go into the checkpoint and maybe teleport somewhere else. This will make it very easy to farm supply drops. So if you get a supply drop in DZ1, notice that there is a supply drop in DZ6 that no one is touched, and you still have 3 minutes. You can just go to a checkpoint, teleport up there, and then, you know, go for it. And the other thing that makes me so happy about this is that it will make it so much easier for me to do the good or garbage stuff on Saturdays, and I will just be able to teleport to every vendor without having to go out of the Dark Zone, then back into the Dark Zone, then all that other stuff. So I'm happy about that, and I think it's going to help out a lot of people. And it's a kind of a quality of life thing to be able to you know, jump from Dark Zone checkpoint to Dark Zone checkpoint. I think that's really cool. Contamination events. Alright, so as the DZ Weirdo has said, there are going to be contamination events. This is going to be something new. And these new contamination events will be part of the subways in the Dark Zone. So I'm kind of curious to know, does this mean that the subways in DZ1 near the entrance, DZ3 near the park, and DZ5 near the radio stations, are these things or these areas going to also have contamination events, or is this only going to be exclusive to DZ7, 8, and 9? They didn't really say anything about that. They just said subways. So technically 1, 3, and 5 have subways, but who knows? Probably not. So the way this is going to work is about every hour, elite cleaners are going to come and spawn into the Dark Zone Underground. And this should be probably a wave, since they did say elite cleaners. This should be a wave of yellow bar elite enemies. I'm just kind of hoping that they don't just pop up. I hope that they come out of a door. Instead of just spawning in. I know sometimes in the DZ you go underground and you're, checking for chests and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, bloop, it's like 7 or 8 cleaners just kind of standing around you, and then they, put the flames to you. I hope they don't pop up. I hope they have somewhere that they come out of. That would be really nice, because otherwise that could be really, really annoying, and you would get lit up really quick. But the likeliness of that actually working right is probably not very good. So the way that this contamination event thing is going to work is contamination levels in the underground will have deadly levels of the virus, and your filter won't stop it. So this could mean that, you have a timer before you get infected and die, or you have a timer before you need to find some kind of medicine, or you slowly lose health without a timer, like a death timer. You just slowly lose health. And from the way that it was put in the main text on the blog article, and I quote, it says, "Act quickly and learn how to manage your health." Now, to me, that sounds like it'll just be some kind of you gradually losing your health. Think about if you're in survival and you're in the cold, you just kind of gradually lose your health like that, which could make talents like predatory or self-preserve amazingly good in that underground contamination event. But still, we don't have the information on that, so we just have to wait and see how that plays out. Dark Zone Leaderboards. So the next thing that a lot of people are talking about are these Dark Zone leaderboards. And the DZ leaderboards will let you compare yourself to other players in activities on a weekly or monthly basis, as said in the blog. Now, this will have nothing to do with your player skill tracking, which is, what I suggested in the video that I made on how to improve the DZ. So DZ level is still pointless, and they didn't seem to talk about that. And I don't think many people will really care about these leaderboards unless, you live in the DZ, and, that's probably not a lot of us. And even only the people that are near the tops of the leaderboards will probably be interested. So unless you got to whatever top percentage, it's kind of a question on, is this really something that people are going to be invested in? Now, the thing about it is, we don't know what kind of rewards you get. They say that you get rewards the closer you are to the top, or however many people you beat, I guess. I'm not really sure how this is going to play out. But the question is, are these going to be some kinds of cosmetic items that you're going to get? Are they just going to be more loot that, you probably have a ton of? Are they going to be anything special, or, maybe even some emotes or something like that? Emotes. The way that the leaderboards will work is they will have 2 divisions, PvP and PvE. Division. See what I did there? You like that? No? Okay. Things from rogues killed, manhunt survived, extractions hijacked, and to NBCs killed, locked chests looted, and items extracted. Like, all of these things are going to help you climb the leaderboards. Now, the real question is, what about for the rogues? Where's the agents killed? How does that work? Or even like, how about teams wiped? What if you pull off an epic 4-man kill in say like 2 minutes or something? I mean, you should get like a team wipe bonus or something like that. Where's that at? Or even how about the opposite? What about rogue teams wiped? What about those? Or even how about for the PvE players? What about number of named bosses killed, or number of supply drops secured? Or, you know, now if you really want to go in, how about like DZ credits earned, or DZ credits spent, or DZ credits lost? I feel like I'm talking to myself about all of these suggestions. Like, is anybody listening to this? I got all kind of ideas. Massive, hello. All of the activities that they track will have a score attached to them that they track, not my suggestions, probably. The higher your score, then the better your reward, as they said in the blog, upon reset. So you're not going to get anything until they reset the leaderboards, either weekly or monthly, depending on how that all plays out. So for the people, you know, who can't live in the DZ, as I said before, you might as well kind of write that off and forget about it, because I'm sure there's going to be kids with no job, no school, just kind of sitting back, chilling, you know, doing stuff in the DZ, getting to the top of the leaderboards every week. Or probably realistic expectation is that hackers on the PC are going to cheat their way to glory, and that's kind of sad, because yeah, they still haven't fixed all that hacking that's going on. There's still like a bunch of cheaters in the DZ and in the division. They still haven't fixed that yet. Alright, so without making this video any longer than it already is, that is kind of part one, going over what's coming in the DZ and stuff like that, and some of a basic overview of some of the new things that are going to be coming in the 1.6 patch. Hopefully I can make a few more of these videos to kind of get out all of this other stuff, let you guys know if you've been living under a rock or you have no idea what's going on. I'm going to try and give you guys the info and give my honest opinion about it, maybe even give some suggestions here or there, and tell you guys what I think works, what doesn't work, what I think doesn't make any sense. There's a couple things that they did for the weapons and stuff that I'm kind of questioning, but we'll see how that all goes. I'll definitely be making another video or two, depending on how long this gets. But that blog post is very, very long. If you don't feel like waiting for me to make videos and you want to know, check out that blog post. You can get all of the information direct from the horse's mouth, and you don't have to hear me yammer on about all kinds of ideas that I have that sometimes make it and sometimes don't. But really and truly, I do want to say this. After looking at a lot of the stuff that is in the blog post, shout outs to Massive, because quite a few of my ideas and some things in some kind of iteration that I have said over the past 6 months, 7 months, have slowly started to leak and make it into the game. So I'm kind of happy about that, but there's still quite a few major changes that I would like to see. And until I actually play 1.6, I can't really say that it's good or not. And I think that if you are listening to anyone on the internet who has not played it, and if they're trying to hype it up and they're being these conductors on the hype train to get you motivated and prepared to do stuff for this new DZ and the new 1.6, I would say that if they haven't played it, they should not be listened to, because we all know that, you know, quite a few people will hype things up and then you actually get it and then you go, what the hell is this? So with that being said, take everything with a grain of salt. Check what's going on the blog post, and anyone who gives their opinion, that is only what it is. It is their opinion. You can agree, you can disagree, but whatever you do, don't get hyped up for something that has not been proven. Massive have been notorious for not necessarily getting things right all the time. So until we play it, let's just be patient. Let's wait. Let's see what happens. Try not to get too angry about things, and hopefully everything will work out okay and be cool. Okay, so I am TDK, Mr. So Real. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks to everybody who's been asking me to do these videos. I had a bunch of videos that I wanted to do. I got a lot of games that I'm playing, and I'm trying to have fun and have some variety on the channel. So if you like this video, if you like this kind of content, please leave a like. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what it is you're looking forward to. If you have any specific questions on something that you'd like to hear my opinion on, or if you'd like to just talk about something, leave a comment, let me know. And that is pretty much about it for this video. So I will catch you guys in the next one. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, because I post a lot of stuff regarding content and new content and requests on what you guys want to see. So if there's anything you'd really like to see me cover, or anything you want to hear me talk about, or any requests or whatever you have, you can always leave it in the comment section or on Twitter. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So until the next video, I am TDK, Mr. So Real. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.